Yo, hello everyone, it's Emma here, and today's video is gonna be the go-to Valby builds for action fields, I guess in like a mobbing sense. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will leave you guys with the build, external components, arc tuning, and at the end of the video, I will leave you guys with a demo of my jet build. I'm gonna be showing you today two possible builds that you can have, so you can decide for your own which one to run. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so my go-to build this time with Valby has been my crit rate build. Um, there's nothing crazy going on here, but I will explain you why I chose these modules, right? So obviously, as we're gonna be going crit, we're gonna be needing crit modules, which is gonna be skill concentration, skill insight, and front lines. However, for the last one, I'm using fusion integration because while we lose the emergency measures 64% critical hit rate, it doesn't really matter because with fusion integration, we are already at 90%, which is kind of like really consistent. Plus, the fusion skill power modifier makes it actually hit harder than the critical hit damage from emergency measures for our bubble bullet. So this means that fusion integration does more damage than emergency measures, but at the cost of 10% critical hit rate. But like I mentioned, we are already on 90% whenever we are using this. Now, obviously, skill expansion for the range, nimble fingers, focus on an attribute, focus on fusion, and MP conversion for the cooldown on our bubble bullet. As you can see, I'm on 1.3 seconds cooldown. So that's what we need. The last module here, MP collector, I use it because as we know, since we are going supply moisture, we no longer regen MP with our passive. So I'm using MP collector for that. However, if you feel that you are too squishy for this because you have literally no HP, I think I have like 5000 HP, you can replace this with an HP module and it won't really matter. You just will need to like run around and get the MP orbs. So whatever you feel more comfortable with, go with this. Now, Valby can use two trigger modules. One is Power Beyond and the other one is Death by 1000 cuts. Now, what's the difference? Valby, Bubble Bullet skill is a multi-explosive projectile, which means that as far as Death by 1000 cuts, you will get 4 stacks per Bubble Bullet cast. So, Death by 1000 cuts requires you to do a max stacks of 12. So if you have 4 per stack, you need 3 bubble bullet casts to trigger Death by 1000 cuts. Now, this module by itself is fine, right? However, when you think about in a mobbing scenario, Death by 1000 cuts is not the choice because Power Beyond, simply for existing, gives you a skill power increase of 15%, which means you hit harder, and not only you hit harder, but since it applies tow to the enemies, it's like a vacuum. So means that your puddles will hit them even more because they will be vacuum into your puddles. So Power Beyond is the go-to choice for farming. However, if you were running Colossus, I would recommend Death by 1000 cuts because this will trigger even more and faster to the Colossus. So depending on what you're doing, it's either Colossus, Death by 1000 cuts, or Power Beyond for mobbing. With that being explained, this is the other build that you can run. This is simply a normal fusion build for Bubble Bullet with no crit. However, here is the difference between these two builds, right? The build here uses obviously Decimator because of your Bubble Bullet debuff. However, there are two Transcendent modules that you can run here, and I'm gonna show you how they work. The first one is obviously Hydro Pressure Bomb, which, as you know, modifies your second skill into this type of jump that does splash damage around an area and has a really high modifier. Plus, it also increases the damage, per entity. So this means that running this with Bubble Bullet means that you're just gonna be jumping around. And the other one is Water Play. Now, what Water Play does is it modifies your Bubble Bullet into this bigger area puddle that doesn't collide with anything. So it's way easier to use for mobbing than the normal bubble bullet build, but obviously you lose the jump for from hydro pressure bomb. However, I'm gonna show you how they both run. I mean work, I guess, and you will decide how you like run this build, right? So I'm gonna be changing my reactor just so you can kind of like see the damage. Just let me see which one it is. Heal damage. Oh, this is it. Okay. So I'm not gonna change anything. I'm just gonna stack my enlightened mage. Um, there we go. It's stacked. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna let it just one stack of it. See how much damage it does. Here we go. 147 million damage. So in case like I'm gonna do it again, just so that I don't lose the enlightened mage set at this time, just so you see if it matches. 147 million damage. So I didn't lose it the first time. And as you can see, that's how water play works. Obviously, you're not gonna be only casting one, but this is so you can see the difference between each other, right? So now I'm gonna change it to hydro pressure bomb. Same build. I'm not gonna change anything at all. I'm just gonna stack my buffs. And to make it even, like fair, I'm gonna reset the Bulgus. There we go. I'm just gonna wait on the Enlightened Mage set. So it's a fair comparison. There we go. So I'm gonna use it now. I'm gonna wait for it to run out. And there we go. It's almost 100 million damage difference, right? Which is like kind of crazy in terms of numbers if you think about it. But let's add now Hydro Pressure Bomb to the, to the damage of the whole thing. So I'm gonna do the same thing again. And I'm gonna use now Hydro Pressure Bomb every single time on cooldown. See if it matches thingy, right? So as you can see here, now it's a 542 million damage. Obviously, this is in the perfect case scenario. You need to keep that in mind. This is in the perfect case scenario that everything aligns correctly. Same for water play. So that's pretty much the comparison between water play and hydro pressure bomb. And as far as the crit build goes, I'm gonna show you that too, so you can like decide which one to run. There we go. I'm not gonna swap anything. I just swap my build. There we go. I'm just gonna stack my stuff. And there we go. Now I'm just gonna let it finish. As you can see here, 260 million damage just by standing still. Again, keep in mind that all of this is in the perfect case scenario that the Bulgus are not moving. But since they're gonna be moving, you're gonna be able to like just like do this even more, do more damage, probably even do less, probably even stack it more here. Same with water play, same with the non-module fusion build. So it's really gonna be up to you which one that you decide. Now, as far as fun goes, for me, it's a crit one because I like the orange numbers. However, for me, Hydro Pressure Bomb is also really fun because you're just romping around, and water play is just the most boring for me. So with that being said, I'm just gonna show you the arc tuning and the inversion reinforcement next. Okay, this is the inversion reinforcement for the crit build. Um, you just want to go all the way to the right side for the enhanced skill power, all the way up for the enhanced skill cooldown. Keep in mind that we need cost and skill effect range. To the left side to get the critical hit damage, and obviously to the right side for our mutant cell. We're gonna be using non-attribute cohesion because this is the best possible outcome for non-attribute users that have the Malachite mutant cell slot. Now, if you were to do the non-crit build, you just simply remove this and you get 4 points free. What do you do with this? It's up to you. You can do HP if you are feel squishy. You can do MP recovery modifier to help the passive, and you can probably do a little bit of MP. Sorry, there we go. It's really up to you what to do it there. Honestly, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. And for the invention reinforcement, we're gonna be wanting to do all the way down to unlock quantum domain, skill effect range, and skill power up to 15 stacks. We're gonna be wanting to unlock. Here's something that you can swap, I guess. I mean, we want focus boost because of the skill cost, or arc circulation tactic for the skill cooldown, which by the time it procs, you can probably cast like one bubble bullet even faster. So not a lot of difference, just so that you know. As far as the other thing goes, you can either match this with your weapon, or either do field particle reconfiguration for defense, or deploy hardened shell, which is whenever you're hit by an enemy, you get incoming damage modifier minus 1% up to 10 stacks, so minus 10% for 20 seconds. And it doesn't have a cooldown, so this means that you are always, I think, getting this unless it doesn't show in the tooltip for some reason. If not, you can just use field particle reconfiguration. So yeah, that's it for both builds, or I mean 3 builds. So now I'm gonna leave you guys with a showcase of the crit Valby build in the action fields. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.